Morning, all of you. Am I audible? Am I audible for you? And if you can respond, am I audible?
So,
Okay, thank you. So today we will learn how the MOSFET is working as an amplifier and a switch. This is very important topic as far as this module 1 is concerned. Okay, so you can take down the important points. So first we will deal with the amplifier portion. So we have two applications of MOSFET. So MOSFET will work as an amplifier as well as a switch. So to explain how this MOSFET is acting as an amplifier, first we will explain the transfer characteristics. Okay. So with the help of transfer characteristics only, we are going to explain how this MOSFET is acting as a amplifier. So for that, we have to first go for what is large signal operation. And through this large signal operation, we will derive the transfer characteristics of a MOSFET. And please note down transfer characteristics is nothing but the plot between input and output, that is Vi and V0. So actually we are trying to derive the transfer characteristics, graphically derive the transfer characteristics, not mathematical derivation. Graphically we are going to derive the transfer characteristics, that is a plot between Vi and V0. And also you can see that all these voltage notations, current and voltage notations, I have specified with the combination of small letter and a capital subscript or suffix, isn't it? So this is a combination of both AC as well as DC analysis. So we have given a AC input for amplification purpose. So VI is the analog signal or AC signal for the amplification purpose, and for the proper biasing, we have given a supply voltage VDD also. So the circuit analysis is the combination of both AC and DC together. That is why the input and the terminal voltages and the currents have been represented with a combination of small, that is lowercase letters and the uppercase subscript. Now you can draw the circuit diagram. This is to explain the large signal operation of a MOSFET. Now, what do you mean by large signal and small signal? Large signal is nothing but how the circuit gets operated with an AC input. So large means AC signal. Large signal means AC signal as your input, how the circuit will work. That is large signal operation. Similarly, DC analysis. DC analysis means without giving any AC input, just we are concentrating on DC input. Okay, with the supply voltages and the other DC battery voltages, we are going to analyze the MOSFET circuit. That is what is called a small signal analysis or DC analysis. So basically, large signal operation is nothing but with the involvement of AC input, we are going to analyze the performance of the circuit. So here for explaining the amplifier operation, we need to go for large signal operation. Take down this figure. So this circuit consists of a MOSFET, okay, in a common source configuration. You know that this is the source terminal and this is drain and this is gate. As you can see, the source is common for both the input and output side. So this is called CS configuration or common source configuration. And we have taken the output from the drain terminal, that is V0, which is nothing but equal to voltage across drain and source. So output voltage is equivalent to the voltage across drain and source. And note that ID is the current flowing through the MOSFET, that is from the drain to source. Always the current will flow from high voltage to low voltage. As you can see, the source is grounded and drain is connected to VDD. Therefore, current ID will be flowing from drain to source. And whatever we are applying here as the AC input, it comes across gate to source. This is a simple circuit without any potential divider network. So whatever we are applying to the gate terminal, that is nothing but Vi, that will come across the gate and source, as Vi is parallel to gate source terminal. Therefore, we can write VGS is equal to Vi. So Vi is equal to VGS. Similarly, V0 is equal to VDS as per the circuit is concerned. So Vi is equal to VGS and V0 is equal to VDS. Any doubts regarding this? So again, I am explaining, we are trying to derive the transfer characteristics of a MOSFET. Transfer characteristics is nothing but the plot between Vi and V0, the graphical plot between input voltage Vi and output voltage V0. So for this, we have to first analyze the large signal operation of a MOSFET in a common source circuit. Now we will try to write the equation for V0. Okay, equation for V0. As you can see, V0 is the voltage between drain and source, and the total voltage is nothing but VDD. The total voltage is VDD. So if you subtract the drop across RD, the voltage drop across RD from VDD, you can write the equation for V0. So how you can write the equation for V0? V0 is equal to VDD minus the voltage drop across RD, that is nothing but IDRD. So V0 is equal to VDS, which is further equal to supply voltage VDD minus the voltage drop across RD, that is IDRD, equation number 1. Yeah. Now we are going to determine the output voltage V0 for the corresponding variations in the input voltage. As per our analysis, we are giving an AC input because we have to deal with amplifier. So we are going to give an analog input to the gate terminal. And you know that your input is continuously varying with respect to time, right? So for instantaneous variations in your input Vi, we have to track the corresponding variations in V0. Okay, your input is not a constant, it is not a DC. Your input is AC, which will be very weak, and it is to be amplified by using a common source MOSFET amplifier. So corresponding to the instantaneous variations in your input voltage, we have to determine the output voltage V0 across the drain and source. Okay, so how we are going to determine the output variations? That is nothing but based upon your equation number 1. Clear? Any doubts you can ask in between. Now we are going to derive the transfer characteristics. So now, based upon your, large signal operation, we have written the equation V0. That is, we have written the equation for V0 or VDS, which is nothing but VDD minus IDRD. Based upon this, we are going to derive the transfer characteristics. I repeat, transfer characteristics is a plot between V0 and I0, or output voltage and input current. I mean, input voltage and output voltage. It is not current, input voltage and output voltage, V0 versus Vi. But to derive the transfer characteristics, first we have to draw the drain characteristics, which is otherwise called as ID versus VDS cara. Okay, so this is not the transfer cara. To draw the transfer cara, I told you transfer cara is V0 versus Vi. So to plot V0 versus Vi, first we have to draw VDS versus ID graph. Okay, VDS versus ID graph, that is drain to source voltage versus drain current graph, which is otherwise called as drain characteristics. Okay. Now, how we are going to derive the drain characteristics? Okay, only after drawing the drain characteristics and analyzing the graph, then only we will be able to draw the transfer characteristics. So for that, first write the equation for VDS, whatever we have done in the AC analysis. Okay, in a larger signal analysis, we have done the equation for VDS, nothing but capital VDD. Capital means, capital V means it is pure DC. Small letter V with the capital subscript, it indicates a combination of both AC and DC. Okay, here also you can see small letter I with capital D, which means it is a combination of both AC and DC current. So total current we have taken here. Here the total voltage, that is cumulative effect of both AC and DC. Now, after rearranging this equation, IDRD can be written as VDD minus VDS. Please take down, write the equation for your output voltage and then rearrange. That is IDRD is equal to VDD minus VDS. Why I have taken IDRD to left hand side? Because I'm trying to plot the drain cara. You know what is drain cara? In x-axis we are plotting VDS and in y-axis we are plotting ID. So you have to find the effect on drain current due to the variations in output voltage VDS. So for that only I have taken IDRD to the left hand side. Clear, students? Output current versus output voltage. Now find ID from that equation. Find ID, that is you are going to divide this RD here. So this RD will come both the terms. So ID is equal to VDD by RD minus 1 by RD into VDS. Now analyze this equation and tell me which is the constant term. Which is the constant term? Put your answers in the chat box. Which is the constant term here? Constant means pure DC or a constant value which is not varying.
VDD, sir. VDD by R.
By RD. Very good. VDD by RD is the constant term that you can consider as C. Okay. Left hand side will be Y. Left hand side will be the variable Y because this you are plotting in Y axis, right? So Y is equal to C plus mx. This is the straight line equation. Y is equal to C plus mx. As you can see, this is your x term which you are plotting in x axis. So this can be considered as x term and this can be considered as y. This will be the constant C. So from this, minus 1 by RD can be considered as the slope m. So minus 1 by RD is considered as the slope m for this particular equation. Okay. Now, based upon this, we are going to draw the DC load line. Okay. We are going to draw the DC load line. And the slope of that line is given by minus 1 by RD as per our analysis. Already we have done this before. So by using the same process, now we are going to draw the DC load line and try to fix the Q point as shown on this particular graph. So before drawing graph, let me fix the x-axis coordinate and y-axis coordinate. Because you know that for drawing the DC load line, I should know the x-axis intercept, means the point which is lying on the x-axis and the other point of the DC load line will meet the y-axis. Okay. So first we will try to fix the point on y-axis. If a point lies on y-axis, what will be the corresponding x-axis coordinate? If a point lies on y-axis, what will be the corresponding term in x-axis? Corresponding point in x-axis. It is 0, right? So in x-axis here we are considering VDS and in y-axis we are considering ID. So to find a point in y-axis, we have to keep VDS as 0. So in that large signal analysis equation, whatever you have done earlier, in that equation, you are going to substitute VDS as 0 and find the equation for ID. So 0 is equal to VDD minus IDRD. From this, ID is equal to VDD by RD. This is the point corresponding to your y-axis intercept. Okay, so this point corresponds to VDD by RD. Clear? Now, similarly, in the next case, we are going to find the x-axis intercept. So we have to find a point on x-axis. So for that, we have to keep your y-axis as 0. Means y-axis coordinate will be 0. So you have to put id as 0 in your main equation. Which is your equation? VDS is equal to VDD minus IDRD. While writing the equation, please be careful with your uppercase and lowercase letters. Small letter V with capital DS is equal to pure DC VDD minus small letter I with capital D into RD. In this equation, you are putting your y-axis value as 0, and correspondingly, we can find your x-axis coordinate, that is VDS is equal to VDD. This will be your x-axis value. So in this way, we have found the x-axis intercept and y-axis intercept of the DC load line, and we will join these 2 points together. Thus, that will be nothing but your DC load line, whose slope is given by -1 divided by RD. The slope of this particular line is, this is called as DC load line, and this is your y-axis intercept, and this is your x-axis intercept, as we have done now. And this line is called a DC load line, and whose slope is given by -1 divided by RD. Now I'll give you 2 minutes. You can draw this particular cara. This characteristic curve, or this figure is called as drain characteristics. That is the plot between VDS and ID. Don't mistake, this is not transfer cara. To derive the transfer cara graphically, first we have to plot the VDS versus ID graph, analyze the characteristics, and then from that explanation only, we are going to plot VI versus V naught graph. That is nothing but your transfer cara. So if in the question paper, if they have asked to derive the transfer characteristics graphically, means first you have to go for the larger signal analysis and write the equation. Then you have to find a point A and D. Find the point A and D which lies on x-axis and y-axis. That is nothing but your what? DC load line, and explain how the slope of the DC load line is getting as -1 by RD. After that, you have to draw this entire curve. Now start drawing. After that, I will explain. While drawing the figure, all these voltages you have to mark. Okay, VGS equal to VIQ, VGS is less than VIB, VGS is equal to VIB, VGS is greater than VIB, VGS is equal to VDD. And this point is corresponding to point C, that is called VOC. This point corresponds to B, that is VOB, which is equal to VIB minus VT. And this point corresponds to a Q point, that is VOQ equal to VDSQ. And finally, this is your VDD. And the point corresponds to Q here. You are having IDQ. And this, as already we have indicated earlier, VDD by RD. That is your ID. Again, this is the x-axis coordinate for the DC load line, that is VDD. Everything you have to mark, then only you will get full marks. Okay. So while drawing the drain characteristics, all these indications, all this labeling, it should be there. Show the triode region and saturation region separately. Finished. Can I proceed? So this is called as drain characteristics, where we are plotting VDS in x-axis and ID in y-axis. As from the figure, that is the main circuit diagram, know that VDS is same as at your output, right? Your output is nothing but across drain to source voltage. So in x-axis, actually you are plotting your output voltage, and in y-axis you are plotting the output current, which is nothing but the drain current. And here we are having multiple curves in this graph. Okay, I have plotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 graphs, where each graph is corresponding to different values of VGS. So I'm keeping your VGS as constant. VGS is nothing but your VI, right? So I'm keeping VGS as a constant, and for each value of VGS, I'm trying to plot the curve. So we are having 5 to 6 distinct graphs for each value of VGS. Okay, how we are setting this VGS, I will explain later. Okay, now before that, you should know that there are two regions of operation, as you know earlier, that is triode region and saturation region. Already we have explained this in the working of your MOSFET, right? Now you can see this is the triode region part. Okay, this part, this region is called a triode region portion. This region is called a triode region. Triode region. After that, we are having the saturation region. In saturation region, almost your drain current is constant, and it is independent on VDS. Okay, your drain current is independent on VDS. So even if you increase VDS to a large value, but still there is no appreciable change in drain current, it is almost constant. But in the triode region, obviously you can see there is a drastic increase in drain current for a very small value of VDS. Okay, for a very small change in VDS, you are having a large change in your drain current for a triode region, and it is bending. It is bending, and finally it is becoming a constant, as you can see. So likewise, I have drawn 6 graphs, and for each graph, it corresponds to different VGS. And now why the graph is shifting upwards? If VGS is getting increased, your drain current also increase. Can you explain why? If VGS is becoming more positive, your drain current increases, and that is why the graph is shifting upward. So this is actually indicates high value of VGS from bottom to top. So this is the maximum VGS. So if VGS is maximum, you can expect a very large drain current through the MOSFET, and you know the reason why. Why you are having a maximum drain current through the MOSFET for a positive gate voltage, for a high positive gate to source voltage. Channel is getting induced, correct? Now more and more channel is getting induced, and further you are having a more electron flow from source to drain, and correspondingly the drain current will also increases from drain to source. But after a particular voltage, VDS, your drain current gets saturated. That is because of your pinch off. Correct? Now the channel is getting pinched off, because of which there is no drastic change in the drain current for a high value of VDS. You know that, you just recall the working of your MOSFET, whatever I have explained in the first class. Okay, you are having a battery across drain and source, right? So if you increase this potential difference across drain to source, normally ID should increase. But what will happen if you increase the VDS after a particular threshold value like pinch off voltage? Then pinch off will get initiate and therefore there is no effect on drain current. That is why we are getting a constant curve after a particular voltage. Okay. So here you can see, I'll take one graph. Okay. I will take one graph. Yes. Yes, ID becomes constant. Correct. So if you take one graph like this, see, suppose I take VGS is equal to VIB. Okay, this curve only I will concentrate. Fine. This curve only I'll take. So to this, with regard to this particular curve, I have indicated a point B here in the DC load line, and corresponding to this point B, if you take your x-axis, your output voltage is designated as V0B or V0B, isn't it? V0B. And please recall the condition of your saturation. We have learned many problems, right? The condition of saturation is VDS should be greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. Correct now? VDS is greater than or equal to VGS minus VT. This is your condition for saturation region. So if VDS is less than VGS minus VT, then you can say that that is a triode region. So VDS is nothing but your V naught. As this curve is, as I have considered this curve and corresponding to this point B, I should indicate our VDS as V naught B. I should indicate the voltage corresponding to point B as V naught B. Understood? That V naught B is nothing but your VDC is equal to the minimum condition is equal to VGS. What is VGS? VGS is equivalent to VI. Correct now? VGS is equivalent to VI, but instead of writing VI, I will write VIB because it is corresponding to point B. VIB minus VT. VT is constant throughout. That is threshold voltage of this particular MOSFET. So this is actually the pinch off voltage V naught B, which is equal to VIB minus VT, beyond which, beyond this particular voltage, the entire region is called as saturation region, and that is when V naught B is less than VIB minus VT, that is called as what? Called as triode region. Clear? So for each and every curve, I have indicated some points like C, B, etc. that corresponding to this, I have noted our output voltage as well. Okay. Now, considering this point, that is VGS is equal to VIQ. Okay, so this is the point B. Okay, this is the point B, which I have fixed on this particular curve, where our DC load line is coinciding on this curve. Clear, students? Okay, I'm trying to fix few points like A, B, C, Q, etc., in which the DC load line is coinciding with your curves. Okay, so as here in this curve, VGS is denoted as VIB. Okay, this point I have called as B. Similarly, this is your most feasible VGS at which we can operate this MOSFET as an amplifier. Therefore, I have taken VGS as VIQ, where Q stands for operating point. Now, why I have chosen this as operating point? Because it should be in the middle of your DC load line from starting from your cutoff region till your saturation region. This is called as cutoff point, right? And this is the extremity of your triode region. This is the extremity of your triode region. Okay. So beyond this, all these region, this is marked as triode region. So this is your triode region and this is your saturation. The end of your saturation, or it is called as cutoff. Okay. So this is your DC load line, and the middle of this DC load line AB. I'm not considering this. Why? Because this here you're having the triode region. Okay. So in between AB, I will choose a convenient midpoint that is called Q. Okay. Where this point is coinciding along with your curve. This point is coinciding on your curve, and therefore this curve is marked as VGS is equal to VIQ. Now, corresponding to this point Q, I have marked a voltage in the x-axis, that is V0 Q, which is nothing but your VDS Q, as V0 is equal to VDS, and corresponding to this Q in the current axis, I have marked IDQ, that is the drain current ID corresponding to the Q point. Okay. Now, what will happen if I'm taking the Q point towards B or towards A? Either it will go towards the triode region or it will go towards the cutoff region, which is not feasible for a proper amplification. Always we need a linear amplification or faithful amplification, right? What do you mean by linear amplification? The gain should be constant throughout. The gain should be constant throughout, throughout, and you should get a faithful output for all the possible range of your input signal. Okay, neither we are supposed to get some clipped waveform in positive or negative. Also, there should not be any distortion. Correct. So whatever we have given as your input, the output should be the exact replica. The only thing, the amplitude should increase. So you have to keep your frequency as such, and the shape of your input waveform should be kept as such at the output. It should be retained at the output as such without any distortions. So for that, it should not go beyond saturation. I mean, it should not go towards the cutoff region or it should not go towards the triode region. So what will happen if your Q point, if you're fixing the Q point towards A corresponds to cutoff. What do you mean by cutoff? Cutoff means zero current. Okay. If your current is zero, your output voltage is equivalent to VDD. Okay. So that will lead to clipping of your input waveform. So that is not a faithful amplifier. Similarly, if you go towards the triode region, that will also again lead to some clipping of your input waveform, because your current is almost, it is linearly varying. It is not constant. Correct. So if you can bias your MOSFET in a saturation region and the Q point should lie between or in the midway of your DC load line AB, then you can say that your output uh, will be the exact replica of your input. Only thing, you are having some changes or increase in your amplitude. Okay. So corresponding to this Q, you have noted down your VDSQ value and IDQ value, and you have to design a biasing circuit to establish this VDS value and ID value. So this is a process of fixing a bias voltage and bias current by using some circuitry, whatever you have learned previously. You have learned four techniques to bias MOSFET, right? Hmm? Without using RS, with RS, then gate to feedback, gate to drain feedback resistor, then fourth one by using constant current source. So by using all these circuitries, you will be able to fix a convenient value of VDSQ and IDQ so that the MOSFET will operate in saturation region, that is midway between the DC load line of AB, so that I will get the faithful amplification at the output terminal. Okay. So whenever I am trying to fix this Q point in this upper curves, your output will not be desirable. Okay, so I should not uh, fix a Q point here. I should not fix a Q point here. I should not fix a Q point here. Q point is nothing but the point you are fixing on a curve that should exactly coincide with your DC load line. You can't fix Q point here and here. Either you can fix here, you can fix here, you can fix here, you can fix here. Okay, these are all the intersection points, right? Or coinciding points of your DC load line over the curves. Okay, so these points can be considered as Q point, but out of which I should take the most feasible point, that is nothing but the midpoint of AB, where B is the extremity of the triode region and A is the cutoff point. Okay, so between this midway, you are going to fix Q so that proper amplification will happen. Clear, students? Any doubts? Soumya? Suraj? Banu Prakash?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Very good. Okay, now based upon this, we are going to derive the transfer character. Okay, I told you the earlier graph, it is not a transfer characteristic. It was a drain characteristic that shows the plot between VDS and ID. Now we are going to derive, or we are going to draw the transfer characteristics graphically. That is, transfer characteristics is a plot between your input voltage and output voltage. So in x-axis you will draw Vi, and in y-axis you will draw V0. Start drawing. In x-axis you will draw Vi, and in y-axis you can draw V0. By indicating the voltage, again I need a small letter V with capital subscript. And here I have marked 3 regions: cutoff, saturation, and triode, out of which saturation region is the most feasible region with regard to MOSFET. Okay, so that I can operate this MOSFET as an amplifier. So in the midway of the saturation only, I am fixing my Q point. This is Q. Corresponding to this Q, I have marked VOQ. VOQ. VOQ is nothing but VDSQ. That is, this is VDSQ. Okay. That is, voltage corresponding to your Q point is marked as VOQ, which is equivalent to VDSQ. Similarly, the current corresponding to your Q point is marked here as VIQ. So not current, input voltage is marked as VIQ. Current will not come into this picture. This is a transfer cara. Transfer cara is a plot between input and output voltage. Why you are drawing the transfer characteristics means we have to find the gain from this graph. Okay, we are going to find the gain of this MOSFET. How we are going to find this gain? Graphically. For that only we have drawn this transfer cara. Now this transfer cara we can draw only with the help of the drain VDS versus ID cara, whatever we have told earlier. Because both are interrelated. So to draw this, I should draw the previous graph as well. See, within 1 minute, this meeting will get done. Please rejoin back. Okay.